Good morning and welcome to StudyIQ. I am Prashant Mavani. I hope you all are in good, my dear friends. Today is 18th January. Day is Saturday. On our table, we have 4 articles. The first one that we are going to go through is Quite for Now. It's an editorial. It's about USA and China. It's about the first or the phase 1 trade deal, which is a very important step when it comes to this trade war that's going on between this two big economies of the world. We are going to analyze this one, but before that, can I introduce all of you to our pen drive and tablet courses? They are designed by the best faculties of our nation. With the help of our pen drive and tablet courses, there are thousands of students out there who have cracked various different competitive exams. You can purchase them from StudyIQ.com. In case if you have any further question, queries, doubts regarding it, you can give us a call on the numbers that you can see on your screen. To download the PDF of today's lecture, visit my FB page or you can join this Telegram channel. Dear students, please make sure that you share this lecture with other students. Don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So, Quite for Now is all about USA and China. It's about the phase 1 trade deal. As you can see on your screen, on one side you have Mr. Trump and then you have this gentleman here. He is Chinese Vice Premier Liu He. Both of them, both these nations, they have signed this phase 1 trade deal. Now, you have to understand one thing, that this phase 1 trade deal is not a complete solution between the trade war that's going on between these two nations. It all started back in 2017. It's been nearly 18 months now since the world is facing this domino effect of this trade war between these two largest or biggest economies of the world, number 1 and number 2. Now, important thing, it is a temporary truce. It's not a permanent solution, and there are so many important topics, or so many important hot topics, I would say. They are not solved yet. It still leaves intact nearly 3/4 of punitive tariffs slapped on China, and China will try its level best to sell more items to USA, and it will try that this whole trade war comes to an end. Of course, USA is also not benefiting from this trade war. So many companies out there in USA, they have struggled. So many farmers, they have gone, they have defaulted or gone bankrupt because of this trade war, because they used to sell so many items, like say for example soybeans. They used to sell huge amount of soybeans to China, but because of this trade war, China has stopped buying soybeans from USA, and this has created problems for farmers of USA. Not all, but some of them. Now, what's going to happen with this phase 1? What it is all about? Basically, under this phase 1 trade deal, China is going to buy $200 billion items, goods and services in next 2 years. Now, I have a food for thought for you guys. Can you think about this thing? Like, say earlier on, China used to buy things from India. Let's say wheat, right? China used to purchase wheat from India, but now China has to buy under this new phase 1 trade deal. China has to purchase wheat from, or China will try to purchase as many things as possible from USA, so that things are running smooth between these two countries. So I'm just giving one food for thought. There could be so many different items, and it's not just about us. There are other markets as well. They will face, or they will have this impact on their market regarding this China's decision, or this phase 1 trade deal under which China will buy more products from USA. So now China will buy wheat from USA rather than India. So this will affect our market or our farmers, isn't it? So think how this phase 1 trade deal will impact China's other trading partners. This is a food for thought for you guys, right? It's important for you to think about. The more you think about basically what you are doing, when you think about this sort of things, you are developing your critical analytical skills. Now, we are talking about agricultural exports, right? So now China is going to purchase soybeans, dairy products, poultry, fish, and other allied sector products from USA. If you compare manufactured goods, services, and agricultural exports or products, then you find that agricultural exports form the smallest portion of the latest offer, compared to manufactured goods and services. Now, China has also assured USA that it will remove all those barriers that were there for American banking companies, American banks, or insurance companies and other financial services. So USA's services will penetrate, or it will get a chance to penetrate in Chinese market. Now, one more important thing, a big bone of contention between these two nations is IP protection and forced technology transfer system of China. So what happens in China is that, let's say Apple wants to launch their first iPhone or their first computer, etc. So when they will think about launching any new product or any radical new product, they will have to provide all those trade secrets and details, like technology that is running your new iPhone, maybe 10 or 11, whichever is in fashion at present, right? So you have to provide all those details to China. But you will think as a company that you have to give it because of security reasons. But just imagine after a few months you discover that all the secrets of your companies are shared by the government with the domestic players, and domestic players are producing replica iPhones or phones they are a substitute of iPhone. Then this will hurt your business, this will hurt your innovation, this will hurt your future. So this was a big problem with many various different companies of USA. So China has assured that it is going to work on this thing as well. Now, this is something very new for the world as well, that Washington has invoked provisions on threats to its national security to punish adversaries. If there is or there are any companies who are doing business or things that will hurt or that can put a threat on national security of USA, then USA will punish those companies. This is something very new. Now, Mr. Trump has said that negotiations on Phase 2 agreement would begin immediately, and even hinted that he could travel to Beijing. He can have a visit to China. Now, this trade deal, it is also said that it is because presidential election in USA is not that far, and it was absolutely important for Mr. Trump to have some sort of breakthrough with China when it comes to this tariff war. And this is one of the main reasons as well. It is said in media circles that hopefully next month, that is at the end of February, Mr. Trump is going to be here in India. And one of the main reasons why he will be here in India is because before election, he wants to show the people of America as well as the world that Mr. Trump is having good relationship with China, or he is able to bring down China on its knee. China and USA, they were, head on head with each other. They were like fighting, and they are still a bit of rival. But finally, China is coming ahead, and China is promising that it will buy things from USA. So this is a sort of a victory, you can say. USA or Mr. Trump will use it as his campaign will, or they will use it as a sort of victory of Mr. Trump. He knows how to create a deal. So it will put Mr. Trump in a very positive platform, and of course, as a politician, he will try to make the most out of it. So this is something that we have to keep in mind as well. Now, one more thing that I would like you guys to think and to see this trade deal is from what we have seen, the working style of Mr. Trump. He is very erratic. He's very unpredictable. So we don't know what will happen in future. Today, things are going quite well. In future, he may come out with something else, and it will be altogether different thing. Like, this reminds me of the first meeting between USA and North Korea. I think it was in 2016, not 2016. I think it was in 2017 or 18. I beg your pardon for the year, but I know it took place in Singapore, and it was a very important meeting, right? The first time ever a current president of USA was having a chat with the leader of North Korea, and it was quite positive at that point of time, but at present it is not moving at all. So the same thing can happen with China as well. I'm just saying, judging from what we have seen so far. Now, questions over government control of China's state-owned firms. This was a big problem, like China providing subsidies, industrial subsidies, providing subsidies to agriculture, dumping products, all these things. This are considered one of the core issue of this trade war. And they are not solved, and they will not be solved until new president comes in. If Mr. Trump comes in again, if he's re-elected as a president, then only after that only we can see the second phase moving ahead. Right, so let's move on. And one more last item, that recent past USA has removed China from this list of currency manipulators. So let me throw some more light on how it works. Why a country will indulge in reducing the value of its own currency. I'll give you example with the help of rupee and dollar. Just imagine, like, if you want $1, then you have to give 70 rupees, right? So this is a conversion rate. It's just a rough example. I'm not giving you proper current rate. It's just for your understanding. So a person from USA, he or she wants to buy something from our country, and let's say that particular product, if you want to purchase one item, then you have to give 1 rupee. So the cost is 1 rupee per unit. So with the help of $1, that person would be able to purchase how many items? 70 items, isn't it? Now imagine if the value of rupee falls down, if it becomes 75, same person would be able to purchase that item. $1, that person will be able to purchase 75 items, isn't it? So in terms of quantity, India will sell more items. So this is how it works. When you it makes your imports expensive, of course. But when you are a country who is producing things for the world, when you are selling more items, then it's going to increase the quantity of your sales. This is just a rough as well as a very basic example of how things export and import works. Second one that we have is fighting radicalization. In recent past, from 14th to 16th January, Raisina Dialogue took place, 2020 Raisina Dialogue, and it was organized by Ministry of External Affairs with the Observer Research Foundation at New Delhi. Now, speaking at this event, our CDS, that is Chief of Defence Staff, former Army Chief General Bipin Rawat, said that there has been a significant increase in radicalization among young people in Kashmir. Girls and boys as young as 10 or 12 are included. They are radicalized. And a few months ago, I would say, I think 6-7 months ago, I was watching news and I saw small kids, school-going kids, they were throwing stones. They became stone pelters. So that's a very sad thing, right? Youngsters, they are very impressionable. Like, you can, whatever you tell them, if you tell them properly, then they will take it as truth. They don't have that experience as well as ability. Just like us, we adults, we have more experience. We have gone through ups and downs, so we can have this. We can identify, or we can distinguish between what is right and what is wrong. We can logically think. Not everyone, but generally speaking, we can actually think like what is right and what is wrong. But kids, they are quite vulnerable, as we all know. And it's a concern as well, because these kids, if they are indulging in all these things, then it becomes very difficult. Because if you're when you have crossed certain age, and after that it becomes very difficult for anyone to radicalize you. But when you are a kid, then it becomes very easy. So once you are radicalized, then it will become very difficult as well to de-radicalize you. Now, the most, I would say, interesting thing that General Rawat has said, he has said that these kids should be isolated, and they should be taken out separately, and they should be placed in this de-radicalization camps, admitted in de-radicalization camps. And again, this is not the most interesting part. The most interesting part is he revealed that we have this sort of camps in our country. Now, the big question is, are these camps legal? what is the legal status of this sort of camps? I mean, so far I have never heard about any of this sort of things. Like, we have de-radicalization camps in our country. If we have, then we need more light on this topic. Like, are they legal? Are they operated by civilian government, or are they operated by defense forces, etc.? Now, we all know that Article 370 was abolished in recent past, I think 5 months ago, 5th August 2019, to be precise. Now, we got two new territories. Early on, we used to have this one state, but now we have Jammu and Kashmir, a new union territory, and we have Ladakh. I'll just zoom it up for you guys so you can have a quick glance. After the end of this lecture, you can download the PDF, and I will reckon you guys to go through it just to spend 5-10 minutes after this map here. So, what we have observed after this abolishment of Article 370, radicalization as well as this violence has gone up a little bit. Things are a bit more disturbed. And if we compare the situation of what it used to be in 1990s, and after that, when 1990s, 80s, late 80s was a phase when this whole radicalization and violence and all these things started in Jammu and Kashmir. In 1990s, it was at its peak. In 2000s, it was at its low. And now what we are seeing is that it is again, gathering strength. And from last many years, we have seen that things are quite violent and quite disturbed here in this part of our country. Now, today the ground has become fertile for this revival of radicalization, because most leaders are absent. Things are like discussion and other things are not taking place. Early on it used to take, but still, things are not that sorted in this part. Now, de-radicalization is best achieved through effective teaching and incorporation of civic studies in the social curriculum for children who are getting radicalized due to the prevailing circumstances in the valley. But I would say that, of course, this thing is necessary. Teaching in school, what you teach plays a very important role. But at the same time, our environment plays a very important role. And I'll give you one example. I'm sure this is something that we all have gone through. Like whenever you are traveling alone in the night, right? It doesn't matter how muscular, or if you know judo, karate, or whatever self-defense techniques, right? This is something that is very quite natural in us. That just imagine you have stepped out of a train or a bus in a city area, and you are alone, and then all of a sudden you cross a street, and then you find there are 4 or 5 guys, right? They are wearing those hoodie jackets, and they're just standing in a corner. They're not doing anything, but you have noticed them. They have not noticed you yet. What will be the first thing in your mind? You will be in fight or flight mode. You will, if you want or not, at that point of time, you will not think about pizzas or other things, right? You will not think about poetry. The first thing that will come in your mind is what will happen next? How you can get out of this situation? Are they going to attack you or not, etc.? So this thing is just a small hint, like how it works. When we attend a funeral, right? If someone who is quite near to us, and if we know someone, and if we attend their funeral, then it will make us sad, isn't it? In the same way, when we are about to attend a marriage, it will make us happy. So environment plays a very important role. That's what I'm trying to explain here, that we need to create that environment in each and every household, positive, as well as teaching curriculum and things, important. But at the same time, parents as well, they should feel positive about the future of Jammu and Kashmir. And if they will feel positive about Jammu and Kashmir, if they will have trust and faith in the government, then only they will teach the same, or they will impart the same faith and trust in their kids. If they see there is no future, when you go home and you see that there is no future, and if your parents or your loved ones are talking about the things that are going on, and there is no future in this state or union territory, then you will feel the same. You will feel like if your parents or if your loved ones will tell you that they have ruined us and things, then naturally you will feel that you need to do something, you need to change the way things are going on. So it's all about hope and vision. and it's also about fear as well, right? These radical groups, they exploit the fear. First of all, they will seed this fear in your head, and then they will exploit this fear. They will tell you that this government or these people are going to destroy this, and there is no future if you don't take a stand, etc. And if we take a stand, then they will show you that this is the utopian state that we will get. So to counter an ideology, you cannot use weapons, right? You have to encounter it at an ideological level, and for that you need to create an environment. Environment plays a very, very important role. So government should make sure that whatever it is doing, it should create a positive impact in each and every household, and only then we can see a change, and only then this radicalization will come to an end. I'm talking about treating not just the symptoms, I'm talking about treating the whole disease, right? So think about it. Again, I will leave it on you guys to think about it, and I would like to hear more from you guys as well. What's your experience? What's your stand on this thing? Now, this article here again is about protests that are going on in university, and it's talking about education, and it's talking about basically it's the CAA and NRC and the protests. So we have talked about it many a times. It's going on for a very long period of time, so I don't find anything extraordinary or new in it, so we are going to drop it. But this one is quite interesting one. This one is about one government proposes, the next disposes. It's about this new governments in two states. One is Andhra Pradesh. You have a new YS Jagan Mohan Reddy. He is the new government or chief minister. And another picture that you have on your screen is Uddhav Thackeray is the new CM of Maharashtra. Now remember bullet train, it was quite in news a few years ago during this tenure of Devendra Fadnavis, and then you have this Amravati, the capital or the altogether new capital of Andhra Pradesh. It was quite in news as well. It was a brainchild of N. Chandrababu Naidu. Now this new governments, they have cancelled or they have put on hold a number of high profile state contracts and projects, and this thing is quite dangerous. It becomes a big problem for our country because investors, it takes so much of effort from the central government side, because external affairs and foreign and all these relations are maintained by central government. So central government or government of India will promote India as a country, that you can come here, we have this sort of things, right? Fastest growing. Once upon a time we used to say that we are the fastest growing major economy in the world, ease of doing business, things are going very well, so come and invest in India, come and make in India, and you will benefit, you will get maximum return and things. And then there are a few investors, they will think like, okay, let's do it. It looks quite promising. They come here, they invest, and then they find that after a few years, central government is the same, but the state government has changed, and this will ruin their whole project and the money that they have invested so far, their years, their time and everything. So this is a big you can say drawback for or you can say it's a big dark spot on the image of our country as an investment destination. State governments, they have to understand one more thing, that investment, though it comes in our country India, right, they have to understand that eventually at the end of the day this investment will come in their city or in their state area. There is no thing called center, isn't it? Means central government is not having any sort of land or piece of land. Now you will say that we have union territories, but what I'm trying to say here is we have states, and this companies like Japan, right, was ready to, in fact it is today as well, ready to invest in this bullet train. Now bullet train will pass through these two states, Mumbai, and it is connecting Ahmedabad and Mumbai. So it is connecting Maharashtra and Gujarat. So the people of these two states, they are the ones who are going to benefit out of this bullet train. Now that's a different thing, like environment, and there are so many questions. I'm not saying that it is 100% pure project and there is no harm in it as well. No, I cannot say that, and there are no projects, I believe, that will not create some sort of negative things. But you have to mitigate the negatives and you have to enhance the positives. That's how things work. Now, it will be extremely hard for the state to attract foreign investors in future, particularly both these states. And without investment, they won't be able to fulfill their social programs and economic development because they will not get that much revenue. For Amravati, Mr. Naidu was trying to transform a rural area into a massive advanced greenfield project. He came out with a very innovative land collection project, right? It was quite new that the farmers have to give up their agricultural land. They will be given agricultural land in different part of the state, and at the same time they will get a commercial place in the new city. So it was quite promising for the farmers, and so many farmers, they have handed over their land to the government, but now the future is quite in, I would say, it's not sure. We don't know what will happen in future. It's been nearly 4 years when Prime Minister Modi laid this foundation stone of Amravati, and now things are, it's going under review. So World Bank has lost a huge amount of money. There was a company of Singapore that was looking after the construction, but now the company is also not sure, and it has also said that they have lost a huge amount of money. Tesla was going to invest in Andhra Pradesh, but things have not, the ball has not, it's not in motion at present. Because there are other states who are offering better things, like neighboring Telangana is offering, Hyderabad is already a business-friendly place, and there are so many people from Andhra Pradesh, they are heading towards Hyderabad. They're leaving Andhra Pradesh for Telangana for economical benefits. So cancelling multiple high-profile public projects may imperil CM's ability to deliver on his most, I'm talking about this Mr. Reddy, that he promised new job opportunities and other business opportunities, but he won't be able to do it if he is cancelling things. The one more thing that I would like to add here is that it is also said in media that he is cancelling, or this new chief ministers are cancelling, because earlier on the same projects earlier on, this outgoing minister or the government's or the political parties associates, they were benefiting out of it, but the new government, the new political party wants their associates to benefit out of this ongoing project. So that's a big thing. That's a very sad thing. Then we are going to face some legal challenges as well. All those companies who have invested huge amount of money, they are not going to let you scot-free. They are going to throw some legal challenges. Now stakeholders have a real voice in the outcome. That's a big question. Like all those stakeholders who have invested, have you heard their voices? You have to prove it. The second thing is, investors look to the overall commercial environment before deciding whether to commit funds or not. So if you are cancelling these projects, then it's quite logical that after a few years you won't be creating that many jobs. So in next turn will be someone else. Someone else will come at your place. So again, there will be uncertainty. So your whole state's image will be tainted, and create governing rules and bureaucracies that are more durable than any one leader or administrator. We have to create institutes. Institutes are, institutes outlast leaders or individuals, right? When we create that bureaucracy, that rules and regulations, that it doesn't matter whether BJP comes in or any other Congress or MNC comes in, right? Any party may come and go. People, like bureaucrats and rules and regulations, will be as fair and honest. So if we create that system, then only we can benefit. And Government of India should encourage more competitive federalism, right? Every state should understand this thing, that if they will misbehave, if they will change things all of a sudden, then there are other states who are ready to provide the same thing. So this will promote a competitive federalism, and that this will keep these states on their toes as well. So the bottom line is that we have to be very careful, right? Government should be very careful, and they should create examples, set examples. Like if some government has, like earlier government has taken one decision if project, then they have this right to review, no doubt. If they think that things are totally wrong or not needed, then they can cancel it. But they have to convince these investors. They have to send this message. If they are cancelling any project, then it should be, all the facts associated with it should be out there in the market. It should not give any sort of any image of political vengeance that government is doing this thing because of taking out or taking away the fame from the earlier government. If that is the motive, politics is the only motive behind cancellation, then that is something that we should avoid for the betterment of our whole nation. Now you have a few news items very quickly. Nirbhaya killers to be hanged on 1st of February. Citizens can skip a question on place of birth of parents in NPR has been said by Centre. Jallikattu is going on, and because of this thing, 2 bull owners and spectators have passed away. GSAT-30, it's our new communication satellite. It was launched from Guinea. Beg your pardon, not Guinea. It was launched from Guyana, and Guyana or Guinea. I have to check the fact. I think it's Guinea. It was launched from Guinea, and I think France has launched it. But the reason why I have added here is that you find so many details. Like this one is 3,357 kilogram satellite. So basically go through the whole news item. Merger of RS, that is Rajya Sabha TV and Lok Sabha TV, is at its final stage. And peace with India only if Kashmir issue is resolved has been said by Pakistan. And UK plans government-to-government framework for future defence deals with India. And this is because of new government as well as post-Brexit. And that's everything in today's discussion. Thank you very much for watching this video. I'll see you soon with the daily financial news analysis. Tomorrow is Sunday, so there will be no Hindu analysis. I will see you with Hindu analysis on Monday now. Enjoy your weekend. God bless you all. Jai Hind.